we're live. Chat. Are we live? YouTube. Are we working? YouTube. Please work. It says we're live. Yep, we're live. What is up, people? The internet. It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful November 14th, 2025. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And we're joined by Mr. Real Texan Politics. A few others might join later, but just
Hello.
Real Texan Politics right now. So everybody, I was planning on streaming it later today, but stuff came up I can't stream later today. And really, there was a bombshell report dropped by Tucker Carlson earlier today that I want to get to as soon as possible because it relates to the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, and it relates to Thomas Crooks. Now, the FBI has been claiming for the entire time that, this guy has no digital footprint. He doesn't use social media. He never existed. Well, somebody at the FBI leaked information to Tucker Carlson as a whistleblower. And it turns out that there's some people full of shit at the FBI, which is a shocking turn of events to absolutely nobody. And Dick Cheney just joined.
The GOP pollster has Republicans down 6 in the generic ballot. We're fucked.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the generic ballot stuff in a second.
I think we gotta, do some shit. I don't fucking know. And
we gotta do shit.
50-year mortgages aren't gonna fucking help. This shit is, stupid.
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about today, but before we get into today's stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you do have any questions, concerns, or want to support the channel even further, the best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I will read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered, and so far none. So send super chats, you got any questions or whatever. I'll read through as much chat as possible, blah, blah, blah. And I forgot to post on Twitter that we're live. Live now. Where's the link at? Here it is. So, I guess before we get into the Thomas Crooks news, which is just huge, because it proves a lot of people are full of shit, we got to talk about the poll that Luke was referencing just a little bit ago. I got it pulled up right here. Isn't it, yeah, it's the NRCC pollster, right? Yeah. Yeah, I got pulled up now, thank you. So, so this pollster for the GOP, they just conducted a poll and, yeah. Massive warning sign to the GOP. The generic ballot is +6 for the Democrats. And the most important thing is the issues. Look at this here. Inflation and the economy surge to the top concern, jumping 6 points since last month, 17 to 23. That's very low. I mean, this pollster has threat to democracy as #1, which is just bullshit, but still, healthcare rose to 14%. And the change is driven by men under 55, non-college women, independents, and Democrats. As a sign of the times, voters by a 7-point margin said they'll spend less on Thanksgiving dinner this year, though 43% expect to spend about the same. And the sentiment about the country has dropped by 19 points since June. So basically, we have a lot of problems. And this is from Signal. It's the economy, stupid. There's no other way to put it. It's the economy.
Fully honest with you. The prices are going down.
Oh, it is.
But here's the problem. When the Democrats' entire messaging is, the economy sucks right now, you guys are hurting, voters start to think they're hurting. That's the thing. That's kind of the issue. That's kind of like the low, both sides' favorite person in the world, the median voter. He's like, oh, I'm actually doing decent. The Democrats tell him, you're actually doing horrible. The economy's going to shit. And the person's like, oh, no, I can't afford anything anymore. Blah, blah, blah. That's just the median voter. Okay? That's just what happens.
That might be a little bit of that.
We got to get our shit. But let's be honest. In 2019, Dems were saying the economy was shit.
Yeah.
And voters believed it for a while.
No, they didn't. I can pull the Gallup poll right now. They did not. I can pull that up right now.
Maybe not 2019. Okay. But still, obviously, I think a lot of people expected Trump to get in there and the economy would just snap back to 2019.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
It's going better, but people need to be fucking patient. This is the same thing with housing. Like Trump is being like forced to like pretend to do stuff on housing, like 50-year mortgage, which again, horrible idea. It'll make it worse. You want to know what the best way to deal with housing is? And I don't say this a lot. Let the market do its work. Housing prices are coming down. They're not coming down super fast, but that's just the way the market works. You're not going to be able to just regulate your way into cheap housing. It's going to make the problem a million times worse. The best thing we can do on housing, just let the prices come down naturally, which they're doing. This 50-year mortgage, all that's going to do is people are going to be like, oh, there's more time to pay off mortgages. People won't even notice if we raise the price of the houses. So all that's going to do now is probably raise housing prices. Again, the 50-year mortgage isn't going to do jack shit. And a lot of this is just pandering because Trump wants to look like he's doing something on the economy, even though he kind of is.
I disagree with some of the stuff you're saying. I disagree with some of the stuff you're saying, but that's just my
like
take.
What? About the 50-year mortgage?
Well, no. I agree with you on that stuff, but like the problem is just the perception's so bad. It's not just Democrats saying it's bad; just people think it's just shit because they can't afford anything.
It's because people were delusional and they thought when Trump got in office, the economy was just going to snap back instead of taking a while, which it is. Which again, that's what happens. The economy can collapse in an instant, but it takes a while to rebuild. It doesn't rebuild in an instant. I think people thought because the economy went from great in 2019 to horrible in 2020, people thought if it could crash that quick, it could go up that quick. Doesn't really work like that, and that's the issue. And I agree we should be doing more, but eventually we have to realize that like Trump can't just snap the economy back into like 2019 focus.
All right, American Nerd for 2. How reliable is this if it's from Tucker? He's still reliable. I don't get why people hate him. Like, yeah, he has weird interviews now, but he's still good. American Nerd.
Like
American Nerd for 2. We've been patient. We haven't gotten much. Yeah. American Nerd for 2. 2026 is going to be 2018 again, isn't it? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But okay, I got the Gallup poll.
I highly doubt it.
I got the Gallup poll pulled up right here. And back in 2019, hell, even as early as 2018, the Economic Confidence Index, which basically just means like the higher the number, the better it is. 0 is like average, negative is bad, positive is good. In 2018, October of 2018, it was 33, when the highest of recorded history. The highest ever was actually in February 2020, funny enough, right before COVID. It was 41. So yeah, the perception of the economy was great, even under the Democrat bullshitting. And the problem right now is, I just think because they're saying like everything's going good, that's pissing people off more because it clearly isn't. I don't think really much has to do with what Democrats are saying because nobody cares what they have to say. That's just my take. Like, because Democrats, no matter what, they're going to say the economy sucks under Trump. So, that's just my take. But, K-Cup for 5. Trump needs a message is better, but I think things got so bad under Biden. The country right now is hard correcting right now. Patience needed. Oh, I agree with part of that. I think we are seeing a lot of course correction. I think even like, I think Target announced today they're going to cut prices in half for Thanksgiving. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see what happens.
Here's the thing. You know how we can stop this Democratic momentum? Come up with a healthcare plan. Unfortunately, though, John Thune, which I should rant on this later, but I want to rant on this stupid shit John Thune's doing. He's trying to get out of doing a healthcare thing in a way that will make the base happy. What he's trying to do is saying, we won't accept a healthcare deal unless the Democrats agree to take abortion out of insurance companies. That's what we're going to do. So basically, he's just trying to get out of healthcare without pissing off the base. That's what he's doing. And I don't want anyone to fall for it like he's taking a stand against abortion, because it's bullshit. He's just using that to get away with it. I think if we came up with a solution to healthcare in December when that vote is, I think we would stop the Democrats' momentum dead on, because that's their main thing they're campaigning on right now.
I actually agree with that.
That was the healthcare. That was what won them 2018. Was healthcare. That's what motivated their base. And we have the opportunity to make that issue dead in the water. But John Thune cares more about being bought out by the insurance companies and doing that. So this is the situation.
I do know.
Record, this isn't Trump's problem. Trump wants something done. It's the congressional Republican.
I do know that I forgot which Republican proposal. They have a couple of proposals on the table, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Going to kill all of them.
Well, don't be such a pessimist. I know it's the GOP in the Senate, but have some faith, damn it.
I have no faith in John Thune when he's like, I'm sorry, I just can't.
Have some faith. Have faith, damn it. Yeah, so I think overall, we'll see, because it is December. They're going to vote on that. There's a couple proposals floating around. I know people would argue with like the abortion stuff. I don't think that's going to really change much, but yeah, it's Roger Marshall that proposed something. He has, from what I heard, it's pretty good. So yeah,
Roger Marshall's a doctor, so
yeah, so he understands this. All right, so there's a lot of things we could do. All right, let's see. Rap is starting to sound like Dutch from Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, well, I'm just being honest. Like, some of this stuff you just gotta chill on. You know, some people are just being like, there's a difference between like being a realist and a panicking. I think so. Luke, no offense, I think you've been a bit of a panicking this morning. No offense.
I'm not a panicking. I'm just seeing things as is. I'm actually being pretty optimistic. I think, all things considered, the economy is going in a good direction. It's not tanking. Obviously, I think we should get rid of the tariffs. I think the tariffs are just stupid. And if there's going to be a recession, that's why. Because there's some forecasts that there might be a recession earlier next year, and that'll be because of the tariffs, which I think is stupid. We shouldn't have done them. That should have been something that Vance should have done. I don't know why the fuck Trump decided to rush those through earlier this year when we were recovering from a fucking horrible economy. That slowed the growth substantially. We'd probably be in a better space if we didn't do those stupid tariffs. I understand he promised those, but still, if you wanted us to do good in the midterms, you shouldn't have done the tariffs. That's my take.
Well, it's just the way that the freaking, like, they did it. That's the problem people have. Just the way they had, like, the bullshit, like, oh, there's some countries a 90% tariff, and sometimes it changes to 70, and then sometimes it changes to 10. Like, that's a part that got people pissed off. If they would have just done a universal, like, 10% tariff, people wouldn't give a shit. So, but they didn't. And they should have focused heavily on China. And
of course, yeah, that was Besant's plan, but a good friend of ours, Al Carbo, still wants Scott Besant fired, even though he's the most cabinet. I wonder why Al Carbo wants Besant fired. Yeah, I bet it's totally his political decisions.
Gosh, you do not like Al Carbo at all.
I'm sorry, he's like a Catholic nationalist who thinks like we should put Catholic law over the Constitution.
Yes.
Said this. I just can't like that shit. I'm sorry.
All right, K-Cup for 2. Rap, you're the last person to call Luke a panicking. I wasn't even panicking. I was just telling the truth. Like, there's a difference between a panicking and
I'm being relatively optimistic. Trump isn't the problem here. It's the Republicans. That's my
I agree with that.
And I've been very critical of Trump for a while. But, like, here's the thing. I'm someone who never really had high hopes for Trump's administration. I knew he was just going to be kind of like a center-right, marginally decent Republican. I mean, like, at least compared to, like, Bush and shit. Like, I knew he wasn't going to be some, like, America first patriot warrior. Like, I kind of expected this. I just think it's shocking that other people didn't expect it, and everyone was expecting him to, like, just do everything. Now everyone's sparking out, because he's not abandoning Ukraine. He's not, he's trying to make a deal with China. How dare he? And it's like, what did you expect?
All right, American Nerd for 2. Why y'all so anti-tariffs with tariffs based? I'm not even anti-tariff. I just like what sounded me on some of the tariffs, not all of them. I think some of them are a good idea. It's just a way like we're just randomly deciding. Oh, this country, they get a 95% tariff.
I agree. If Besant just did his 10% tariff plan instead of Flutnick's fucking schizophrenic all over the place, which, by the way, I would like to point out, Howard Lutnick, forget what anyone, that had nothing to do with protecting American workers. He had bought shorts, like, on all these stocks, like, a week before that was announced. So, like, yeah, he had personal reasons for doing that. That was bullshit. Besant's 10% would have probably been the best thing, and then made deals from there. But no, Lutnick decided to say, oh, let's start this, like, schizophrenic shit. We're going to give a 30% tariff to Penguin Island, which has no people on it. It was a fucking joke. The entire thing was a fucking joke.
The moment I saw...
Hey, Tyrone.
Hey, I just got here. The moment... I mean, I've been here for the past minute or so. I just got off for lunch. The moment I saw that they were tariffing an island full of penguins, I knew the Trump administration was fundamentally unserious about tariff applications, and I saw in my mind's eye, yeah, they are not treating this like an actual
Well,
tool for economic
I
generation
understand why they
or
did that, though.
diplomacy.
They did that because they didn't want like companies saying they're from that island. That's why they did it. But yeah, it looked ridiculous.
It looked ridiculous, and it was ridiculous, and I have been for the most part anti. I was willing to give the Trump administration the benefit of the doubt on certain tariff applications, such as with the hostile states like Cuba, but tariffing China, tariffing the European Union, tariffing Japan and South Korea. I'm sorry, those are our major trade partners, hostile or friendly nation state actors aside. You don't do that shit unless you're intentionally trying to fuck up your fucking supply chains. So yeah. Anyway, what are we
There's a
talking
very
about?
good chance because of that we'll be entering a recession.
No,
next
that's not. Jeez, it's not because of tariffs. It'll be a recession. That's nothing to do with
That would be because when
No.
we fuck up a bunch of relations with a lot of our trade partners, it goes in the direction.
Luke is actually not incorrect, but he's also not completely correct. If we enter a trade recession, or if we enter a recession, the tariffs, while definitely proving to be a major catalyst, are not going to be the underlying reasons. I think that if we enter if we enter a economic recession, I keep wanting to say trade recession. If we enter a economic recession, it will be because total confidence in America's industrial capacity will have collapsed and interest rates will have finally risen. But the tariffs definitely have a non-0%, not a guaranteed, but a non-zero, concerningly, they have an uncomfortably decent chance to catalyze a recession for the United States by fucking up our supply chains just enough, basically.
All right. Saul Goodman for 5. There will be a recession next year, but it'll be likely because of the AI bubble. Tariffs is a possible contributing factor. I actually agree with that. It'd be the AI bubble bursting. I think that's a ticking time bomb. That whole AI stuff's gonna fall apart, I think, next year, but we'll see. Spikes for 2. Thoughts of the Pope condemning Trump advance. No comment, as I'm gonna say. Lord Rhino for 2.
I'm just saying, I don't think it was a good idea to have an American Pope, and I miss Francis. He was pretty cool.
Oh,
Isn't the Pope meeting with like transgender activists?
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
I don't think so. I don't think so with that.
Look, I'm Protestant, so I don't care. I mean, obviously you guys aren't going to care what I say, but I will say this in defense of the Catholic Church's integrity. As an American nationalist, it was a fucking disaster to have an American Pope, because the issue with having American spiritual leaders outside uniquely American denominations of sorts, if you will, especially ones where people tend to be incredibly sacramental and is that it the American monoculture with it. And
all right.
Has been very American monoculture, unfortunately.
Okay. Lord Rhino for 2. Chinese Century Time. I won't go that far. Bar for 2. Domestic manufacturing. Domestic manufacturing offsets the tariffs. Trust. Again, like, that's the idea, but it's just the way they did it just kind of pissed people off. American Nerd for 6.
I will say we need a trade deal with China ASAP, which it looks like it's in the works, but it needs to be a good trade deal.
We've been in the works for like 7 months now. It's been in the works for 7 months. That's the problem.
It needs to happen so we stop this like stupid trade war. Like, that's not what we need right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Chinese vehicle, United States.
We'll lose Tyrone. Tyrone, your thing's cutting out. Okay.
Importing Chinese vehicles.
All right. American Nerd for 6. When y'all crap on tariffs, it sounds like y'all pro free trade and offshore enemy. No, I don't. Not into that stuff. No, that's not. That's a straw man argument. Just because I said the way they did the tariffs was not the best idea, that does not mean I'm against tariffs. In fact, I still think tariffs are the best way to do stuff.
There's a difference between being pro tariffs and knowing that when we're recovering from an economic disaster, it is not the best time to introduce tariffs. It's not the tariffs that are the problem. It's the way they were run about and when they were put in place. That was the problem.
I am Battlefield for 2. I wanted the Black Pope, Cardinals, Robert Serra. Yeah, that was the best case scenario, but that was never going to happen, sadly. But...
Here's what I'll say, too, with the Pope. I think with America, America is just, like, so politically polarized in a way Europe isn't. Because, like, in Europe, you've got a bunch of different parties and shit. So the church is kind of, like, you're kind of able to be independent of politics because it's always changing and shit. America, everyone, and I don't care if swing voters, they basically don't exist. Everyone in America either prefers Republicans or Democrats, prefers like the right wing or the left wing.
No, don't you know,
like,
Luke? The Libertarians are going to win next year. They're going to win everything.
So true. But yeah, everyone in America is so polarized that, like, if there was going to be an American Pope, like, he wasn't going to be able to separate himself from it. It's just like, it's so entrenched in every American that, yeah. And I will say this, I think everyone who called Francis a liberal deserves an apology, because say what you want about Pope Francis, he didn't say nearly the shit that Leo's saying on immigration. He isn't saying nearly. Pope Francis, yes, occasionally he would, like, speak up and say, oh, we build bridges, not walls. But still, let's not forget, he said on numerous occasions countries have the right to defend their borders. Leo has never said anything about that. And overall, Francis talked a lot more about, like, abortion and these other issues. I think a lot of these, like, more conservative Catholic types need to give Francis an apology, because he was objectively, in my opinion, a better pope than Leo. But yeah.
Okay. I am Battlefield for read that already. Chance Razik for 5. Did you see what Bongino said about Massey? You know you screwed up when the FBI director takes time out of his day to call you out on your BS. No, it's really a meme of like two retards fighting. That's Bongino versus Massey right now. Because both sides are dumbasses.
The issue with America right now is and I do mean this in a negative way, we are experiencing a repeat of the 80s, but we lack the industrial and military and diplomatic soft and hard power to actually pull off the kind of shit we're doing. Furthermore, what we did in the 80s against Korea and Japan worked because Japan and Korea were comparatively weaker economies. The Chinese economy is still capable at the end of the day of really screwing us over. So playing the same rule book with different conditions on a much stronger opponent is really fucking stupid, in my opinion. And that's why we really need to fucking play nice with China. Look, I'm not a China shill. I'm going to say this outright.
That's my job.
I am not a China shill. I don't like that my country is getting outflanked, but I will praise China where they deserve it. And I am not afraid to say, as a geopolitical realist, yeah, China has got a lot more fucking shit figured out than us right now.
All right.
And as much of an antagonistic force as they are to us, we do need them in certain areas to keep shit afloat. So, having tariffs on China and attempting to violently decouple cold turkey from their economy is straight up fucking suicidal.
All right. Builder Shed for 5. Remember the short the stock market thrive through the Second Great Depression. Also see the Valve/Steam announcements yesterday. Yeah, Valve is saying fuck you to PlayStation and Xbox. So that's gonna be interesting. They're releasing that
the Steam Century.
Yeah, they've won. If that thing's not as like, I don't know how expensive it's gonna be, but if it's below like $500 or $600, it's gonna kill the next generation. Which I don't think there's gonna be a next generation. So yeah, the Valve just won. They just freaking won everything. Wow, it's as if like you care about
I'll be right back. I got ordered blunt.
You care about your players and they actually like are gonna support you. Wow, what a shocking turn of events. American Nerd for 2. I thought 80s Japan overtook America economically. No, what?
No, yeah, it didn't. No, people think because America was able to successfully like counter Japan's influence through tariffs, but the reason for that the reason America was able to get away with that was Japan was still a U.S. ally largely. It was still a country that like was basically fully reliant on the U.S. Like they weren't going to turn to like the Soviets. You know, we didn't have to worry about that. China, on the other hand, is like pretty close to being toe-to-toe with the United States. And I don't think people realize this because, again, I've had conversations with some people, and a lot of people just seem to think that, like, America's on top. It's always going to be on top. And they just think it's, like, insane, the idea of China overtaking us, which really isn't that insane at all if you look at the trajectory of the way things are going. And I think that we can't just expect to, like, fully decouple from China and everything to just be fine. And, oh, we'll still have the world because China's unstable. I think most of the world actually looks at us as kind of unstable. I mean, look at it. We had an entire change of government the past year. There's a good chance in 2028 we could have a completely new change in government. These other countries do business with China because there's predictability in China. You know they've got the same viewpoint. They got the same philosophy rolling over it. America just has, like, one year it'll be a progressive president. The next year it'll be a MAGA patriot. The next year it might be a neoliberal. You know, you can't expect a consistent policy. You can't expect countries to keep doing business in America with that, and that's the problem. As America's gotten more polarized, as we've been in a position now where there's just so many different ideologies that potentially win elections, that makes America less appealing. And that's what I'll say. It makes our domestic politics a lot more interesting, but it makes our place in the world deteriorate a bit.
All right.
So, yeah.
Builder Shed for 2. Windows Century of Humiliation. Yeah, Windows is slowly going down the tubes. So, yeah, just that Microsoft's dying. So, all right. So we got to talk about the, I guess the big story of the day. We got through the economy stuff. Just want to get through that real quick. There was an interview Vance did yesterday. We'll get to that later. But I want to get into what is the bombshell report that happened or dropped today by Tucker Carlson, who I know some people say, oh, he's schizophrenic. And you have like Ted Cruz. Oh, go on.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tucker. I'm probably one of his few defenders left.
I still like him. I just still think some of his interviews are just stupid.
Yeah.
That's all. American Nerd for
obviously, Ted Cruz is obsessed with him.
Yeah, I mean, before we get into that, I gotta pull up the Ted Cruz thing. American Nerd for 2. Oh, go on.
Like every single day, there's a Ted Cruz tweet about Tucker Carlson. It's just, I don't.
He's losing his mind. Isn't it strange, by the way, that all these people collectively lost their mind at the same time? Because and really last night was the craziest of them all. We'll get to what happened in a second. But American Nerd for 2. Thoughts of the Vance interview last night? I watched parts of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I like what he said. He said exactly what we've been saying for a year now. Focus on deportations, and that'll solve a lot of problems. So, yeah. Okay, so for those that don't... What?
I will say deportations are only going to get better. At the site I'm at, we're getting 30 new deportation officers in January. And the facility I was at previously is getting about 20 new ones, effectively doubling their capacity. Most ICE facilities are getting double to triple the amount of agents that they have capacity for currently. This is going to be a really good thing. I know that at least in the state of Texas, the Department of Defense yet to be named the Department of War because Congress has yet to fucking codify it. The Department of Defense has been instrumental with helping processing go through. And people need to be more optimistic about deportations. Like 2 million voluntary departures, 500,000 forced removals with the bare bones force that we have right now. Not to mention, more and more funding is only going to happen.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that because, like, again, the foreign-born population, just foreign-born, so that's who we know. We're already down 2.2 million people. Obviously, still got too many. It's like 50 million right now, but we're already down 2 million foreign-born people in America right now in just a year. That's huge. And I just wanted to bring that up because I don't think people really understand how big of a deal that is. It's the first time possibly in 50 years we're of net negative migration. 50 years. So, yeah, I'm not... we want more deportations, but I think it's not as bad as some people were claiming it was.
It's not as bad as people claim it is, but Trump has still yet to go fully all out. I know at least the sentiment with a lot of DOs and just generally people working with immigration, whether you're an attorney or not. I have been finding myself quite acquainted with the immigration sphere, if you can even call it that, as optimistic as that sounds. A lot of people really want them to start denaturalizing people. One name I see in specific that a lot of deportation officers and folks working with Border Patrol, ICE, the USCIS, all that legal stuff, a lot of people want Zoran Mamdani denaturalized and deported, especially guys in the New York City area. He would be a perfect case example. It would absolutely piss off the voter base in New York, and I think that politically speaking, deporting the guy who just won young people by borderline Assad margins in New York is a really great way to trigger a localized blue tsunami to New York City, especially with the Trump administration refusing to really, not even necessarily refusing, but like just seemingly doing nothing about the economy or cost of living. Especially because, we're using the Communist Control Act to deport him when most Gen Zers are saying, okay, well, maybe socialism's not a fucking bad thing if it means I'm going to be able to own a house and not pay out the ass in property taxes to cover fucking boomers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think Mamdani needs to go, but they need to approach it in a way that is purely on the grounds of him
I have an idea.
being anti-American, not the boomer socialist communist rhetoric.
I have an idea how to do it politically viable. You know what you do? Just wait for when he's the mayor of New York City for like a couple months and it goes to shit immediately. Then do it. That's what they should do. Just wait till it goes absolute shit and say, oh, we found a mysterious message where he says death to America. We could denaturalize him. That's how you do it, I think. That's the way to do it.
Going after him for being an Islamist is, one, blatantly incorrect and disingenuous, and two,
that's what he said.
He's not an Islamist. He's like an unironic socialist. The issue with trying to deport him on grounds of Islam is no one fucking cares about that shit. That's not the issue. The only people who care about that are boomers. And the other issue with trying to deport him for being a socialist is young people are fucking okay with flirting with the idea of socialism because capitalism as the system, late stage capitalism, has totally failed them in their ability to get a job or get a home or even really prop themselves up in the housing or job market because boomers fucking strangle everything.
But boomers they built this country. Did you know that, Tyrone?
Thank you very much, man. Have a great day.
The boomers built America up. They were the ones that had to work 20 jobs to afford a house, even though it cost like $2,000.
I hate old people. I hate the geriatrics. My grandmother and grandfather are no longer here to suffer the potential consequences. So yeah, fuck it.
All right, Chuck. I'm Battlefield for 2. Chuck Schumer might not run for re-election. He's not going to. Lord Rhino for 2. We need Tucker to interview Xi. Hell nah. That should be kind of funny. That'd be kind of funny.
Luke would love that.
Yeah, he would love that. Josh for 5. Tucker still has a soft spot in my heart. Candace and Nick, not so much. I mean, Candace Owens just fucking lost it. Now she's like going around, ooh, what did Kirk find out? Why did he get
Candace
killed?
Owens has either totally lost it or she is just as much of a shameless grifter as the other factors.
Yeah, K-Cub for 2. Let New York City fail, then just initiate the Batman protocol. I agree. That's
Holy shit, this is already... Dude, the car in front of me is an Illinois license plate, but they have a Trump 2024 sticker.
Patriots. All right, so I guess we could get into the big story. Now we went through all that stuff. Actually, before, I want to quickly mention the Ted Cruz stuff, because last night Twitter went on fire because Tucker Carlson posted something that pissed a lot of people off, especially like the boomer evangelical crowd, like the Mark Levin types. And
what did he say?
So I posted a chat. So he said, Tucker Carlson wrote, these people are sick. No human is inherently more valuable than another because of their identity. God created everyone in his image. It doesn't matter if you're American, European, African, Middle Eastern, Australian, or from the North Pole. There's no such thing as blood superiority. Those who disagree, like the IDF's leaders, have more in common with a certain Nazi than Jesus. So Tucker Carlson's just saying like, hey, there's no blood superiority crap. That stuff's garbage. It's unbiblical, by the way. And Ted Cruz is calling Tucker Carlson
A Nazi?
He's calling him an anti-Semite. He's calling him an anti-Semite for saying that everyone was created in God's image. Wasn't Ted Cruz isn't Ted Cruz an evangelical type? Right?
Yeah, he's a
hardcore evangelical.
He's Southern
Telling you,
Baptist.
man. Telling you, man. There is a good chance we are going to lose the midterms because a lot of right-wing young people sit it out, and this is going to be the reason why.
I mean,
this is going to be the reason why, and I can see it happening right now.
This is the most.
This is how it's going. You have people like Nick, you have people like Tucker, and they're talking about shit young people care about. Again, I'm not defending either of them, especially not Nick, but they're talking about stuff young people care about. And then these other people are saying that young people are stupid for not supporting Israel.
Well,
they need to learn their history.
Man, you need to learn your history.
Israel's more entitled to our money than we are. You know, like.
I would like to say something that actually is insightful here. So, I have to dig the tweet up. I'm pretty sure Brother John retweeted it earlier. Of all the original 2015, 2016 era Gamergate to Trump 2016 streamers who have maintained their relevance in this sphere, the old heads, Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, y'all remember him, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one who has maintained relevancy. And it's because he is an extremely level-headed individual. And Carl said, while he does not fully agree with Nick Fuentes, it's important to understand young people and why they are attracted to Fuentes when Fuentes says these things. Y'all know me. I'm not a fan of Fuentes. But it's really important to understand why people like Fuentes are gaining popularity.
Well,
and Carl Benjamin understands this. Let me finish. Carl Benjamin understands this better than most. And when I see people trash Sargon, who has proven consistently to be one of the few consistently good fucking commentators on this issue, I'm like, there's a problem.
Well, and the worst part is it's like, you're not allowed to ever say anything. I mean, it's just like, why do you think people are becoming more very anti-Israel? It's like, it all started because people were just saying, hey, maybe we should spend this much money in Israel. And you're called the anti-Semite and you're going to go to hell and stuff. It's like, wait, what? Where does that say in the Bible? That shit.
A lot of younger people, back in the day, it was always the left. You weren't allowed to criticize Black Lives Matter. You were racist. And then now the whole thing is if you criticize Israel in any way, you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's the same thing, which it is. This idea that we're policing everything, we're no better than the left was 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago with the BLM shit. If we're going to tell people criticizing Israel in any way makes you an anti-Semite. Questioning any foreign policy decision in relation to Israel is anti-Semitic, and you support the Holocaust. That's what they say every time.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this is old Tucker Carlson is doing, he is studying scripture. He's studying Genesis for crying out loud. This is the first book. Ted Cruz is supposedly this hardcore evangelical. Doesn't even read the Bible. Doesn't even read the first book. The first 2 words.
Evangelicals do not read the Bible, in fact.
It's the first book. It's Genesis 1:26 or whatever. I mean, what are we doing here? Why? This shit here is why this whole pro-Israel movement's dead.
Okay, rap.
What?
Why are you asking if the man who calls himself a Baptist but isn't even baptized? Why are you questioning? Remember, the Southern Baptists don't believe baptism is a literal thing.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot. Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess we got to bring back the nickname Lion Ted.
Yeah, Lion Ted. K Cub for 2, read that already. Builder Shed for 2, US Gen Z be 90% socialist and 10% Rothband, oh gosh, worship. Basically, I would say socialist, they're just like sick of the system. So, K Cub for 5, and on the 8th day, God said you must give billions of dollars to Netanyahu's military so he can make things go boom. Neo Genesis 6996. That's the type of shit they pull their ass.
And on the 8th day, the Lord said, another trillion to the state of Israel.
I mean, that's the problem.
I will say, there were people on the street in New York City doing interviews. There were a lot of, like, big supporters who were voting for Zohran. There were a lot. And, like, I think, like, that's what people need to realize. There were a lot of protest votes for Zohran from people who are not socialists, who are actually pretty right-wing. There was a good chunk of them.
Yeah, just a protest vote. They're sick of like, okay, what are we doing here? You got voted in to put America first, and this is a shit. And Ted Cruz making it. People like Ted Cruz, which sadly enough, he is still one of our best senators. That's the sad part about this. He's still like a top 10 senator for us because everyone else sucks.
Here's my fucking thing. People need to understand. People need to understand Trump, MAGA. He was nothing more than the very first loud cry from the American underclass and the youth. Something is wrong with this country. People need to understand that it's actually entirely cohesive to be like a Trump Zoran voter. You know why? Because it's not about policy. Younger voters are a post-party demographic. Younger voters have zero issue voting for the right-wing populist boomer 1 minute and the super left-wing socialist populist for the second after. You know why?
I agree with that.
They're not ideological because
they're pragmatic. These are the only people offering solutions to housing, to the job market, to being able to provide a future. And the reason why so many young people who voted for Trump are showing a violent shift leftward this cycle and into the midterms is because Trump is failing the promises that he made on the economy with affordable housing in 2020.
And I would also argue, it's a lot of like smaller things. They just all adds up. Like, it's not one thing. It's not just the economy. That's a big thing for a lot of people. But smaller stuff, it's like, he was voted in to go after these people that broke the law. He was going to go after the people that, like, Operation Arctic Frost. Why are these people in jail?
Locked up yet. Yeah, Hillary's not locked up yet.
These people broke the law and they committed perjury. Why are they not in prison yet? Why? I know part of it's like some cases take forever. It's November. And you're telling me that nobody's been arrested yet? Why is James Comey still out in public? Why?
Not only did Trump have his first 4 years of his term, he had an additional 4 years between his terms to put forth legal cases that he could have enacted the moment he took power again.
Yeah. It's something's got to change now because we're getting to a point where even if you switch on the economy.
I don't hate Trump. I love Trump. I voted for Trump twice. I don't fucking regret it. And if you were to put Trump up against any Democrat that could make housing affordable, I'd still vote for Trump because the Democratic Party are still the party of evil. Every time I've asked Trump out of great concern because he is my president, he's my commander-in-chief, and he's the fucking character we need to go in and fix this shit with the economy of housing.
We're losing you. Sir. Tyrone, you're cutting out. You're cutting out. We lost him.
This better?
No, slightly. It's still pretty bad.
He got him.
He's dead. They got him. Yep. Israel got him. The Clintons got him. I am Battlefield for 2. Thoughts on Operation Southern Spear? I don't know what that is. What's that? Operation... I never heard of that.
Tyrone faintly yelling.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's like the funniest sound in the world when Tyrone's yelling, but his connection's so shit.
So for those that don't know, Operation Southern Spear is that our Operation Southern Spear is we're gonna bomb the shit out of the cartels and stuff. That's the idea, and like the narco terrorists. So I think it's an okay idea. Just gotta be careful with it. American Nerd for 2. Imagine Trump puts Cruz in the Supreme Court. Hell no, that ship has sailed. Josh for 2.
He's also too old.
Yeah.
Cruz is
Josh-
way too
But
old.
it's too. If we put Cruz on the Supreme Court, that might be a good thing.
I don't know.
Supreme Court judges don't go on interviews.
Josh for 2, who would win a Vance Mamdani 23 election? This is Vance. Because Mamdani literally can't run. So
Also, Mamdani got 50% in New York City as a Democrat. He would be really terrible, like
Yeah.
electorally
Yeah, but
wide.
the problem is, look at the numbers he got for the youth vote.
that's the one concern. But I still think that was more so.
Against Cuomo in New
Yeah.
York City. Against Cuomo in New York City, you're forgetting that part.
Yeah, that's why it's like he won because like of the economy, but it wasn't as impressive as some people said it was. K-Cup for 5. Also,
No, he won because foreigners voted for him. That's why. You remove foreigners, Cuomo
that's
won
true.
that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I forgot about that. That's another
No, I
thing.
agree, but still, I'm gonna be honest. If we had a Zohran versus Vance matchup in 2028, I think Zohran would win. He would lose the election, but I think young voters would vote for Zohran by probably at least the margin Biden won the by in 2020.
I don't know about like you're going to. I
so.
don't know. I don't know about that, but
I believe so.
K-Cub for 5. Also, don't forget Laura Ingraham and whoever that woman was insult young men because the market and society became rigged against us, but we're lazy. Yeah, it's like, it's older Republican women that are a big problem. They say shit like that stupid. Okay, we got through all that.
Welcome back to the Longhouse.
Oh, gosh. I
Get back
guess
to Tucker.
let's talk about Thomas Crooks.
Oh, yeah.
So, for everybody that lives under a rock, Thomas Crooks was a guy that shot Trump. Well, I know there's some conspiracy retards where everyone say, no, it was a clone and something. I don't know. But Thomas Crooks was the one that shot Trump, and he got killed immediately. And we have heard jack shit about this case for over a year and a half now. We've heard nothing. And in fact, the only thing we've heard is, oh, this guy acted alone and he has no digital footprint, which is strange. It's like, wait.
I'll be back in one moment.
He's like a 24-year-old or whatever, 23-year-old, and he has no social media presence anywhere. Not even a picture. For just ignoring like the rest of that. Doesn't that seem kind of suspicious, everybody? Just a little bit. He's like 22 years old. There's not one presence of him online. Nowhere.
That's abnormal as fuck.
Well, here's a funny thing. Well, not really funny. Tucker Carlson, his team, apparently they had a source at the FBI give them these information, and they have proof that Thomas Crooks was very active on social media in 2019 and 2020. He had hundreds of comments on YouTube videos where he is, and this is a weird thing, he was originally in 2019 like a schizo right-winger, right? He was like saying you gotta go like do stuff to like bad stuff, like, you know, I can't say it here, it's like really bad.
That's probably why
With
he
the
was
Fed
arrested
poster.
Republican.
Say he was a Fed poster.
Yeah. But then in 2020, it changed immediately. Something happened, and he began to say, like, we gotta stop Trump, and then, like, Orange Man bad. Well, then he disappeared. But the last time he talked, he was in contact with somebody affiliated with, take a guess who?
Nick Fuentes,
No. A left-wing group.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Antifa.
Antifa. A foreign Antifa cell who had deep ties with them. That's the last thing he had on YouTube or anywhere else, and then he disappeared. It was direct contact with an Antifa organization, which they just declared a terrorist organization just a day ago. So we have a digital footprint where the FBI lied. They said it under oath, there's no digital footprint whatsoever. It never happened. It never existed. But in reality, no, we actually have a very deep one. He had like a PayPal, a Gmail. He had all these mysterious foreign accounts. Why does he have a foreign Gmail account or email account?
It do
Why?
be like that, Mr. Stancil.
Oh, gosh.
He do be like that.
He's a Trump supporter because he's registered Republican.
Yeah, sure. But is that strange? And that's all we know because the FBI said nothing. And FBI got caught in a lie again. That shitty response team they formed, they said, we have never said he had a digital footprint. They're so full of shit. It's like, this should be released immediately, but it was mysteriously deleted, covered up, and before Tucker got his hands on this, we knew nothing. But also,
kind of like we were going to know nothing, probably for good, because it looks like they probably just threw everything out.
yeah, I think they did. I think they threw everything out, and they also looked at. I can't show the video here because like I don't want to get copyrighted or whatever. There's some stuff in here that like YouTube would strike down, but it's like he was making some very bizarre Google searches 5 years in advance of the shooting. By the way, 4 or 5 years before the fact, and he was looking up people like Trump 100 times a day. He was looking up Jack Ruby a bunch of times. Everybody knows who that is, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Jack Ruby is, right? Yeah. Yeah, so he's looking him up a bunch of times. And then there's like stuff about him looking up the like chemical reactions for a pipe bomb and stuff. It's crazy. This guy's been saying this for 4 years, and you're telling me the FBI not once heard about this or investigated this. I find that very hard to believe.
Pam Bondi doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. She clearly doesn't. And he also looked at crazy shit like cars running over protesters, which is weird. Like, why? And the best places for you know what? He was looking this up 5 years before the fact, and nobody at the FBI. This was under Trump, by the way, his first term. Not a single person questioned anything. Even though back in 2018, they partnered up with a group the FBI did to have like a watch group to make sure like lunatics like this that what they're searching and stuff. And it flags them. And nobody mentioned this anywhere. And now we're getting the truth a little bit. I don't know what happened
honestly, like, Moinger Z made a post. This is very similar to what we were talking about earlier, but he's correct. There is an ideological shift happening in America.
Thank you. It's not surprising that Biden DOJ did investigate. Oh, yeah, they did investigate shit. They claim they did, but... Yeah. So this schizophrenic was talking about this 3 years in advance. What is the FBI hiding? What are they hiding? Because, like, why is, like, stuff from 5 years ago being hidden? It's not like it was a day before. It's 5 years in advance. Why are they hiding that? Anybody got any theories?
I mean, he was a Fed poster, was he?
Yeah, he was.
There's your reason.
He was a Fed. He might have been. I don't know. But there's got to be I hope that Trump gets this video because there's got to be a wake-up call. He's got to understand Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they got to go. They got to go. Why are they still here? I'm still wondering that. Why are these two bozos still here? Have they accomplished a damn thing of note? Seriously. I can't think of a single thing that they've accomplished.
Nothing right now.
Yeah. K-Cup for 5. Did the media, in addition to trying to make us forget Trump was shot, also try to say he was a Trump voter, but he wasn't even old enough to vote? Yeah. They tried to claim it was a Trump voter that did it. I remember that. Remember, Chris Wray, the dumbass who was the FBI director at the time, he said they didn't know if Trump got shot or not. And like a week after the fact.
Remember the CNN report, Trump falls at rally?
Yeah.
Remember that?
They were trying to gaslight people saying, oh, he didn't actually get shot. Nothing actually happened. He was perfectly fine. He fell. Yeah,
I still like half of Democrats think that it was staged.
Oh, it's growing a trend now. It's like a majority now. They actually believe it. It was staged.
Democrats simultaneously believe that the Trump assassination was staged and that Trump was able to fly from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein Island in less than an afternoon to touch kids.
Yeah.
I think one of the most damning things you could tell when it comes to conspiratards and leftists is that the average person literally does not understand basic logistics and claims the most crackpot shit imaginable.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I got hiccups.
I brought this up yesterday, and a bunch of leftists, they were saying, oh, you're denying the fact you're coping. Do you really think in one afternoon he was able to go to freaking New York City and back? To go party with him? That's bullshit. Well, he's on camera. At Mar-a-Lago.
Actually, yes, he did. He did do that because
guys, he is so like he is so powerful that he was able to be two places at once. Just
My favorite fucking comment to me, like I made that post. All of you retweeted it,
yeah.
saying it was fucking nonsense. That you know, I said it was nonsense because he was on camera, and the Democrat. Keep in mind, so the Democratic file says it was on Thanksgiving Day, 2017, where Trump and Epstein hung out together, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then I said, that's bullshit. Here is a ABC video of Trump being with his family at Mar-a-Lago in 2017. Someone seriously fucking said in the comments, keep in mind, the Democrat email said it was Thanksgiving Day. Someone seriously said in my comments, well, how do we know it wasn't on another day?
I would like to point out the Dems later deleted that post.
Yeah, they deleted. Well, now they're back with another shitty email where they're like praising Epstein for saying like Trump's a bad person.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. Like,
I
bro,
gotta pull this up.
this issue.
They've
They have
completely
bungled
flipped
this
on the
issue now.
They have fumbled
Yeah.
it. They fucked up big.
The
Even
Democratic
Epstein knew
Party-
Trump was a bad guy. Like, that's
The
their
Democratic
They were
Party
reading on the
did
Epstein
not
issue
fucking
from-
release this. The
They were
Democratic
basically,
Party,
yeah.
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was rude. The Democratic Party did not release this for the purpose of trying to take down Trump or slander him with accusations. The Democratic Party released this because they needed to distract their base from being reminded that it was the Democratic Party who shut the government down for the longest period in history. And they were like, wait, why the fuck did we vote for them if they took our checks away?
Yeah.
This shit is... the Democratic Party does this shit because they think their voters are genuine, and they are in the defense of the DNC. Their voters are genuinely this fucking knuckle dragging, saliva drooling, ass fucking butt naked monkey fucker retarded. They are genuinely this fucking stupid. Their fucking brains are smoother than fucking water. I don't know how the fuck you accomplish that, but that's the average Democrat voter. They're fucking retarded. They're brain dead idiots. They are literally a bunch of brain damaged dipshits.
Yeah.
Who will completely overlook the fact that I didn't have my paycheck for 6 fucking weeks. I'm gonna scream about Epstein online.
Yeah. Well, there's a funny thing. Like, I got the
So
tweet pulled up
true.
right here. The
By
Democrats
the way,
posted.
Luke, can you confirm that because you door knock in like the most white liberal parts of Milwaukee?
Yeah. Wait,
Tyrone-
what do you need me to give?
Tyrone is
Just
cooking. He's
confirm
totally right.
what Tyrone said about Democrat voters being retarded.
Oh, dude, no, it's so funny. Like, I always ask them. Because one of our issues is like the top issues, and they'll just say Donald Trump. That's like, what's he doing that's bad? And they'll just say, isn't he like didn't he take away voting?
Oh my god.
No, according to Resistance Live, like, we're living.
He dies in darkness, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
The
the
scary
thing
thing
is, they
is-
didn't like how Trump. They didn't like Trump's executive order banning abortion. That's what someone
No,
told
the
me.
scary
Are you
thing about
serious?
the scary thing about Resist Libs is that they genuinely live in an alternative
Yeah.
reality.
And actually, funny enough,
Yeah.
I
Dude,
thought-
like, there's a reason they're supercharged to vote. They think that, like, if they don't vote, like, the democracy's done and, like, we're gonna become Nazi Germany.
Yeah, and like,
Meanwhile,
and I'm not even joking.
Meanwhile, our base is like, Trump won't release the Epstein files. I'm gonna sit out and send him a message.
So yeah,
Like-
and funny enough, like, and speaking of that, like on Fox News this today, a doctor went there and said like, "Hey, Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. They actually can diagnose people with Trump derangement syndrome as a real thing now, because they had a patient who couldn't enjoy a vacation because she saw Trump on her device or news and felt triggered."
Just turn off the fucking news. Then.
Some of the features of this
politics.
So some of the features of this disorder, they can't sleep. They feel traumatized by Mr. Trump. Trump is a trigger for many of these people. To be fixated on a person is simply not healthy. This is a profound pathology. I want you to go as far as saying defining the defining pathology of our time. So you have people. Now you can say they literally are Trump. They have TDS. It's a real thing. These people, all they think about is Trump every single day. They see Trump on a picture somewhere. They lose their shit. They go insane. What are we doing
These
here?
people live in an echo chamber called Occupy Democrats.
This is beyond just an echo chamber. These people are nuts. They actually
That's
believe.
the thing. It's Occupy Democrats that's telling them, "Hey, Trump is signing an executive order banning democracy."
That account still exists. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
like
does.
that's like I think that's like actually the top news
I
source.
thought they like
for
moved the Blue
Democrats.
Sky because I used to see that like once a week, and now I never see that account anymore.
Oh
so.
my gosh. See, these people are so batshit crazy. They have convinced themselves that President Trump, they look at, it's like the freaking, like he's the, how do you describe this?
I'm going to point something out. I want, it's
He is
important to
Adolf
keep,
Hitler, commander of the Third
holy
Reich.
shit, you fucking Polak.
Oh fuck! Sorry about that.
I'm going to point something out. Imagine what the average fucking TDS person resist lib thinks of Americans when they realize Americans with the popular vote in the Electoral College nominated Trump and got him elected. Think about how the average resist lib feels about the average American, given the average American was in favor of Trump.
Yeah,
Consider,
I've told you guys this
Also,
before.
why they say that the election was stolen.
I had a resist lib a couple, like, this was back in September. When I asked, what is your top political issue? They said they want to see more Republicans get shot. That was what they
What
said.
the
Word for
hell?
word. These are the wholesome baby boomer Democrats, by the way, suburban baby boomers. Wholesome ones, you know?
That's who we're dealing with. That's our opposition here.
Yeah.
They literally are, they're the types, they want to kill everybody. Like I said, I talked to Mark Mitchell about this, and he actually says even more. He's like, 40% of the country wants to kill everybody else right now. I'm not even kidding. A third of the country wants to kill everybody else right now. So, how do you function in society? Oh, gosh.
And again, that's just people who will tell it to a door knocker. You know, imagine how many actually believe this, you know?
That's what
I mean, you saw those No Kings protests, those protesters who protested No Kings and were holding up like Charlie Kirk signs. They came up and said he deserved to die. There was like like that's what all these people are talking about. There's that new what's that wine mom podcaster lady who's saying Democrats need to.
Yeah, I remember. I know you're talking about.
Dems need to start saying Kirk deserved it, or else they're gonna lose our support. Or shit
These
like
people are. I'm telling you guys that this is why I'm saying do not sit out next year. I have a big problem with the GOP, but you cannot let these people win. Can you imagine they get a 1-seat majority and they barely?
I'm telling you, this country cannot survive with this. And I'm telling you, this is why people wonder why I think China is going to win the century. This is why our country is polarized beyond belief to the point where I don't see America just surviving this. It's not. At least in being on top of the world. That's my take. And I think we need to come to terms with the fact.
If America survives, it's not going to be in the form it is right now.
I totally agree.
I think
if America survives, we're going to see our aggression akin from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire, or at least some kind of autocratic state.
I think
that is my prediction for the United States.
My prediction is it's the next 10 years will decide the future of this country. I think that's the case. Next 10 years, we'll see how the country goes. If these idiots take power, good luck. But that's what I'm going to say about that. So
there are years where nothing happens, and there are weeks where years happen.
Yeah. I got a bunch of super chats to catch up to. American Nerd for 2. What the F is Bonnie Patel doing at the DOJ, FBI? Scratch their ass, and that's about it. I'm Battlefield for 5. You guys saw that Canada's going to recruit H-1B working visas in the U.S. God bless Canada. Bye! Take them, please! Take all the visas. These idiots in Canada, good luck. Good luck with that one.
Oh, Carney is going to be DOA now in the next election.
Yeah. American Nerd for 10.
Canada's a country. It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
It's not going to exist in 25 years.
American Nerd for 10. I honestly never understood.
Quebec's
Guys,
independence
I got like
referendum is going to be
Everybody mute your mics for
All right.
like I don't know.
just 5 minutes. American Nerd for 10. I honestly never understood why Trump appointed Patel as FBI director when his background was in intel community, not law enforcement, which is what the FBI main job is supposed to be. It just he was seen as a guy that could blow up the system, metaphorically, of course, but just didn't go that way. K-Cup for 2. Tyrone rants over Luke rants. Sorry, Dick Cheney. That's real. K-Cup for 5. I'll say it again. My friend's boomer liberal dad at the lake did nothing but bash Trump and showcases fuck Trump clothes like it was a cool trend. Yeah, that's all these people think about. Lord Rhino for 5. Some people don't know Trump won the popular vote. They think Harris won it. Yeah, there's people that actually think Harris won the popular vote to this day.
There's people who think Harris won the election
Yeah.
and it was the Starlink satellites that stole it.
And I've seen it's a growing again. It's like the Trump fake assassination. It's a growing trend. A majority of Democrats, I guarantee you, pull this. A majority of Democrats will say Trump did not win the popular vote and he did not win the election. It's not good. I don't know how you get out of this mess. That's
I mean,
the
you
concern.
saw that. I remember right before like the inauguration, they were saying that like the military was going, like the Supreme Court was about to rule Trump couldn't serve because of the insurrection, and that like the Dems are like that, like the military was going to save Kamala. Like people were talking about that. And there were a bunch of baby boomers making like TikToks about this.
Yeah, I
know
remember
back
that.
back in early January. Yeah, and they were convinced. They were convinced.
I remember this. Boomer cape shit. It's boomer cape shit.
It is boomer cape shit. That's the best way to put it. It's a boomer waffin too. It's not good.
Yeah, they've been having their year this year. I will say.
The thing is, the boomers have destroyed what's left their credibility, reputation. It's just dead now.
You remember the steel incident? I'm sure
Yeah.
you saw the video of the coffin. What you probably don't know about though was the town hall where all these boomers started a line and started hailing Hitler as
what? What?
Base boomers?
What? No way.
They were trying to say that like he's hailing Hitler, so they were trying to like I think pretend to be Trump supporters. Yeah.
The boomers are just
Boomers are the definition. Boomers are the definition of performative politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. This is not good. Thought to cap insurance agent commissions as part of the healthcare plan. I actually agree with that. There should be caps on that. That's ridiculous. That big in commissions. Q, but it's blue. It's blue anon. That's all it is. It's blue anon. And it's real. These people, at least QAnon was funny, and like you had the, like I saw a tweet about this like a couple days ago.
QAnon was funny, and the only people who took it remotely seriously were like schizo boomers who were already largely ostracized and just only had an online presence.
Yeah.
Blue Anon is infinitely more dangerous because you can actually connect Blue Anon to all of these leftist groups and leftist individuals who are actually going out of their way to shoot children, say fathers need to be murdered, and support candidates winning elections saying children need to die in their parents' arms, so they change their minds on the Second Amendment. Just saying.
Yes, I agree. And you're seeing two politicians openly pushing, even mainstream politicians. Chris Murphy the other day, who I guess is trying to run a long shot bid for president now, was going around saying that there's not going to be a Democratic election in 2028 and Dems need to fight in order to
they know what they're doing.
To save, they know exactly what they're doing.
They want that's why Fetterman's like realizing he gotta get the fuck out of here. So they're golden. They're realizing these people are nuts.
The only reason Fetterman hasn't switched parties is John Thune being a dumbass.
Yeah, that's about it. And like, listen, Jared Golden though, like how can you be like that guy? Like I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, but it's like he's the most like one of the most halfway sane Democrats in the House.
Yeah,
in a Trump plus 10 seat, and they're trying to kill him and his family because he's not Democrat enough. Really? And then Jay Jones
a lot of
wins?
people on the party switch watch. Jared Golden's number one. Cuomo, I think Cuomo is probably going to endorse Vance in 2028. That's a hot take, but I think he saw the way his party treated him. I don't see him sticking around. I think Fetterman too will. I mean, it sounds like Fetterman hates Shapiro now. Fetterman could very well endorse Garrity next year. Like that's what it's looking like.
I think Anna Kasparian.
Tom Swazi, maybe he could be up there. Not Prez. Prez, she's done, bud.
Tulsi Gabbard was first of many.
Yeah, well, she was the first
and
one.
RFK. I mean, the Dems forced RFK out of the party, basically. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still. I mean, he's technically an independent, but he could just.
He's
don't even get me started on the Teamsters president. Why have they not endorsed any Democrats in 26? You know why? In 24, when he had a meeting with Harris like stormed out because he wasn't immediately endorsing her, and she said, "I'm either going to win this election with you or without your support."
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah. Now Teamsters isn't endorsing any Democrats, and that's the issue.
This is why I still think next year could be decent for us, because we are talking with the Democrat Party, after all.
The problem is the turnout. That is going to come down to the problem.
If you get the turnout high, you're going to have a good chance of winning. Democrats, their only saving grace is their people. They think this election, if they lose, everybody's going to die. They actually believe this. So that's why it's a kind of turnout. Not so much. I think persuasion.
If I had to do gun to my head, I think it's going to be another regional midterm. But I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to take the chance. I think we need to get our base.
Luke's right.
I think we need to get we have to focus on getting our base out. That is going to be the biggest problem. And
I think, though, there still is time for Trump to recover. It's not like one of those things where he's done, he's at 20%, it's over. No, he's at 44%. He can recover.
But man, you were literally saying that shit earlier this week and late last week. What are you fucking on about?
What did I say last week?
Yes.
Thank you.
What?
I am Battlefield for 2. Thoughts of Tim Shahid Choice Act for healthcare. I'll read after the stream. Josh for 5. We still have many active Syrian politicians born in the 50s. That's a big problem. American Nerd for 2. Imagine AOC versus Swazi Senate primary at 28. AOC wins that race easily. And speaking of this guy, so remember earlier we talked about the TDS thing where it's like an actual thing now they can like diagnose people with? So this same doctor also said, I didn't realize this part, that 75% of his patients in general, total, 75% of his patients have a deep hatred for Trump and are hyper-fixated on him.
Mm-hmm. And those are the high-intensity voters.
Yeah. These people...
Anti-Trump forces are literally a bunch of mentally ill, neurotic wrecks with unhealthy obsession for him.
Yeah. It's not just, for some people. According to him, it's for all his patients. So that includes people that are depressed or whatever. They all are saying the same thing. The orange man is bad. The orange man is bad. The orange man is Hitler. They got to do something.
The Democratic Party does not have a high propensity voter base because they genuinely think, or because, how do I say this? The Democratic Party having a high propensity voter base does not boil down to the Democratic Party is better than the Republican Party insofar as they have better arguments. The reason the Democratic Party has a higher propensity voter base than the Republican Party is because their voters are a bunch of mentally ill freaks with unhealthy obsessions about Trump. That's literally it. You don't ration with those kinds of people. You can't ration with a horribly mentally ill person. Ask me how I fucking know.
Yeah, it's not good. So I do think overall this is a ticking time bomb for America. I don't know how you're going to resolve this.
I'm telling you. You know what? Probably the best thing for the future of this country is, and a lot of us might not like this, you know what it is? Give these schizophrenics the House next year. Give them the House, and then...watch what happens in 28. That's what I'll say happens.
Actually, don't give them the House. Don't give them the House.
Don't give them the House. Don't.
I'd agree, but here's the thing. If we just let Trump have unfettered 4 years of total control, I don't want to see what happens in 28. If I had to make that compromise, we lose the House narrowly in 26. If that means keeping the White House, I think that's because this country will... If there is a Democrat with today's Democratic Party in the White House, we thought Biden was bad. It is going to be leagues worse. It is going to be like a 20-year difference, you would think, in progressivism. And that's going to be the problem. And I don't want to take that chance.
They're legitimizing pro-murder gay race communism. That is becoming
Look at
the
what they're
party's
messaging. They're
vanguard norm.
messaging about putting like supporters of Trump in like prison because like Trump's putting migrants in prison. You know, like
There are
I'm
many
only
people.
half joking about the moving
No,
to Poland bit.
there's
Honestly,
there's a bunch of Democrats fantasizing right now about having Nuremberg trials in America in 2029. I'm not even joking. They're saying, "Yeah, we gotta have Nuremberg trials to put people to death. They betrayed America," and it's like,
Oh yeah, I think there will probably be a lot of Democrats who campaign on actually throwing members of ICE in prison for crimes against humanity.
it's gonna happen.
And
They're gonna
also,
throw
not only
Trump
that,
voters in jail.
not only that,
some
abolishing
Dems want to
ICE.
like audit Trump supporters if they got into power again. Wasn't that something?
Yeah.
Not just politicians, like just
Everybody,
supporters. They wanna-
anybody
yeah.
that they think voted for Trump, they're gonna audit them. That's what they want to do.
Not only that, I think abolishing ICE is also going to be a mainstream Democrat view.
It's gonna get bad.
This is why I'm telling you China's going to win. Okay, I've been saying it for a while. Like, look, if Republicans somehow can keep the presidency for the next like 20 years, it'd be one thing, but I just don't see it. You know, the second the Dems get power again, like we're done as a country.
I still listen. People understand about this. Like, yes, Trump is down right now in the polls. He's at 44, 45%, and it's going down very slightly. But I still have weird optimism for this country. I don't know why. That might be me being delusional. But really, why was Trump spared in Butler, Pennsylvania? Why? Why was he spared? Just for the country to like decline just slightly slower? Is that really why he was spared that day? I don't know. I think there's more that's going to happen. I think we're going to get out of this like much better than we
Let's be
expect.
honest, like
I don't
the
know.
world is never going to be a great place. I think we know that. I think that like eventually, like things are always going to get worse before they get better. And I don't know, man. I don't really do this whole thing that just like,
I'm just saying.
I'm not in the right. I'm not in the
Things
right
are
mind.
going to
I
get
was having this
worse.
discussion with people
Things
the
are
other
just
day, and a
going
lot
to
of
get
it
worse.
comes.
Well, I think
a lot of
I
it
think things
comes.
get worse, but
Look, a lot of it comes down to utopian understandings, which a lot of people we agree on the left have. A lot of people on the right have it where we just think that everything needs to be perfect. We need it to all be great. But it doesn't seem like we're really going in that direction.
Here's
And
the
I think
difference
at the end-
between right wing and left wing utopianism. Right wing utopianism is where we think we can throw our feet up because it'll be fine. Left wing utopianism is we need to be violently ruthless until we can achieve it. Right wingers go, oh, utopia will come eventually. There's no need to try. Whereas leftists will go, everything will fall apart unless we fight for our utopia.
all right.
Well, no, a lot of it comes down to like religiosity. I've been thinking too, because most people on the left are just secular. They're atheists. They think that there is no afterlife. There is nothing like that. So they think the only way to achieve it would be on Earth. So they have to like make the Earth like as perfect as possible. Like that's their entire ideology. When most of us are just like, yeah, it's always gonna suck. The thing is, we make it to not suck the most, you know, like get the people in who aren't gonna destroy the world, the country, you know, and that's kind of the situation we're at. And I think at the end of the day, Zohran could fucking do a military coup of the United States. And at the end of the day, doesn't really mean much, you know. We're here for like 90 years and then we're out, you know. So,
Bruh. Wow,
honest.
that's a dark way to end the stream.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all meaningless at the end of the day.
We got some other boomer waff in here. We got the what is
And like I've been saying, if America goes to shit, there's always Poland. Just saying.
Oh gosh. K-Cup for 5. Rap might be a panic every other Tuesday, but he is right. Have faith in our country. Have faith in good people. Trust in God that will be all right. We'll see. What is this?
And then
We
I'm
got
just
fucking
here like
Ruby.
maybe you should move to Poland.
Yeah, so we got the fucking Richard Simmons type aerobics
Oh,
class outside of the
my.
ice detention centers. Tyrone, this is what you probably have to deal with at some point. These fucking Richard Simmons aerobics classes outside
What
of
is
the
this?
ice.
Tyrone, what's going
They
on
really
here?
want to be hippies, bro. They really want to go back to like.
They want to go back. Yeah, they're all hippies. These are all the hippies.
A lot of them were.
Cosplay the 1960s.
There's not a single person there above the or below the age of 60.
Yeah, there's a couple of like probably in the mid-40s. My gosh, what is this?
We're gonna protest fascism by aerobic exercises in neon clothes. Tell me that doesn't sound like a fucking SpongeBob skit. I'm sorry.
Seriously, it does. That's a shit that's...
You'll never
Honest
make me, you'll
respect to
never
that
make
like
me let
one
go
man
of it.
who's there. There's
You'll
one
never
man
make
there.
me
That's
let
crazy.
go of
One
this
man.
fucking car, even if it's me on aerobic classes.
Mm.
Oh my god.
I love
Speaking
the
of-
woman in the
speaking of
back
the
who
men,
just
by
has
the
a
way-
mask
oh,
on.
fuck.
That woman in the
Yeah, I see that.
I must go now. I have many people to remove. Goodbye.
See ya. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is our opposition, everybody.
Grace and peace be upon everyone in the stream.
Yeah, it's Portland. Of course it's freaking Portland. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
You guys saw that video from Portland, right? Of all the boomers and their congresswoman, but they were singing fucking "This Land Is Your Land" on No
Yeah, I
Tuesday.
saw that.
I was like, dude, they want to be in the 60s again. They're literally just cosplaying the 60s.
And again with the
This is-
boomer
this is it.
waffin here. Look at this. I
Boomer
reiterate
waffin.
this video. I know it's the New York Game and
we
Sport, but still.
watched it yesterday. This is bad.
Yeah, I know that, but still, like, I reiterate, this is a fucking.
This is who takes power if we lose, by the way. Do not vote for Democrats. I don't give a shit if you don't like the GOP. I'm not a big fan of half this party. I think most of them suck. But do you really want these people in power?
I think we need to make this song the national anthem.
So true.
Oh gosh. I'm not gonna play that. K-Cup for 2. Was this literally a South Park episode? It might have been. It probably was 10 years ago. We protest by this is stupid. Okay, everybody.
Vote.
I think that's it, everybody. So listen, everybody. We talked a lot about the Thomas Crook stuff. There's more updates about that coming soon, I think. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of stuff happen in the next couple of weeks. We have till the end of the year, I think, for Trump to turn around, to regain some of that lost support. But we'll see what happens.
If not, I'm going to Poland and working for the PI.
I mean,
You
listen,
want to hear
seriously.
my hot take? I think it's going to get better. I think housing prices are already getting.
You know, I have this
cheaper.
weird
Yeah.
feeling.
Just so you know, poster tubs, you won't be welcome in Poland. Sorry, dude.
I'm not going to Poland, dude. I'm not Polish
you know,
ethnically, and I don't speak Polish.
Some people might say I'm coping a little bit. I still got this gut feeling that this was the worst part of the Trump admin the last couple of weeks. This was like the bottom of the barrel. Like, it can't go any worse
This is
than
the bottom of the barrel. It's going to get better from here now on, but how much better is the real
That's a question. If he can get back to the first 3 to 4 months as admin, we'll be in perfect shape.
Guys, I think we need to do something. Where's
What?
Elon?
What about Elon?
We need to bring back Elon.
It might be.
Ever
Listen,
notice? Since Elon left, things have gotten worse.
yeah, I mean,
Let that
listen,
sink in.
I'm not the biggest fan of Elon Musk, but yeah, it's like ever since then, it's gone to shit. I know he was
We
losing his
didn't
mind.
believe in him. We need him back. We need Elon.
I mean, he was starting to say some stuff that's like, I don't think he's gonna join back in officially, but
At least make him like a secret advisor. Trump was being competent when he was taking advice from Elon.
because
Let's just say
the thing
that.
with Elon Musk is like some of the shit he says is dumb and some of the stuff he did at Doge was bad. But there's one thing about him that you cannot deny. He is terminally online. And he reads what people are saying.
Also, he's like a European-style right-wing populist. We were cooking, especially on immigration, with him in there, you know? And I think we need him back. Honestly, like, he was one of the best, like, advisors. Like, he's the closest America had to, like, an AFD or, like, a Fidesz or Law and Justice. He was the closest person America had to that. Even though you wouldn't think so.
Yeah,
because he's like a billionaire, like atheist, but like he was, like, you know.
Gotta bring it back. I think I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's. I still don't know what's gonna happen, but I just, guys, never lose. Listen, it's not over until we say it's over. We have time to recover. It's year 1. We've had a pretty rough stretch, but I'm hoping, and I know for a fact, Vice President Vance better step up. That's all I gotta say about that.
If it were up to me, maybe you gotta have. I mean, obviously, Stephen Miller should be chief of staff. Maybe make Elon Musk the deputy chief of staff.
You know who should be chief of staff? Nayland Haley should be chief of staff.
Yeah, how the hell is he
Oh, yeah.
like halfway competent? That's my question. All right. So if anybody got more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls are super chats. Last calls are super chats. So yeah.
Or Tim Wells' son. I know he was like saying racial slurs in someone's server.
And by the way, I should also mention that there is some good news coming down the pipeline for immigration. Apparently, from what I've heard, they're going to maybe not abolish it, but they might like heavily regulate the OPT program. Which, for those that don't know, it's a big scam for like jobs and stuff. So, yeah.
I think we should take in more Ukrainian refugees. That's my take.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys in the next stream, video, or if you see us at Godspeed to all of